So in 1889, this guy painted this picture. And if you look at the picture, and I'm going to show you, it looks like Hitler. And that's the year that he was born. So Carl Jung had a couple encounters with him and believed he was possessed by like some sort of Germanic um, spirit or soul or something like that, which, you can be possessed by an archetype or, a spirit that's not like a individual spirit. It could be like a cultural spirit. It could be like something else like that. So whenever Carl Jung went, he was, I don't know where he was at. Maybe he wasn't at a rally, but he could have been. And he saw him speak, and Hitler's eyes connected with him, and he got this crazy ass chill in his body. And the next day, he got the fuck out of Germany. He got the fuck out of Germany. So was Hitler possessed? I think it's probably likely. For somebody to do all the shit that they did, I guess if you were a Nazi and you were in Germany, you could believe some of that bullshit to be true, especially if you were like the target audience. If somebody's telling you. And Hitler didn't have all those Germanic features. He didn't look all chiseled and Nordic. He was kind of ugly and doofus looking. So when somebody is not got the quality traits that they're promoting or that they're boosting up, it's almost like more of a compelling thing to think that what they're saying, they must believe it because, like they've picked out the traits or something like that. But who the fuck knows? There was a lot of people around him that were occultists, and he was a little bit himself. Definitely a Gnostic or something. I don't really know. But I was watching this thing about it, and I thought it was interesting, that he was that way. Because can we tell that today? Can we tell that today if we can see our leaders, we know that they're being puppeted. We know that they're catering to other influences around them, like BlackRock. But do we still have the eye to discern for that, so that we know when people are being moved by some other type of spirit, something that's not as natural? Do we know, and can we work it out? And if we do realize that, what do we do about it? I think we have to be aware of these things, because the more towards the future we get, the more fucked up things are. We may not always be dealing with individuals that are doing things. We may be dealing with something either completely spiritual that's taken hold of the material people, or something similar. And honestly, I just don't know. But I think it's important to look at that, because like when they asked some of the I think it was a girl, I think she was in the Marines, but they were talking about going into an area where there were civilians, and they were going to have to tell them to go into their house. And she was all crunked up, like ready to shoot the civilians. Now, that's not any way a military should act in a country of their people. You know, you go to the military, your job is to protect and defend and serve the country that you're working for. It's not to fuck off the people, you know? And do the young people know that? Will they be able to get in a situation where they won't, you know? I would like to think that if given some order to fuck off the population, that the military would be like, no, we're not doing that. You know, I've heard of other instances where they had uh, denied doing something, but I don't know about the entirety of it. I don't know if it's entirely true. They said that about Trump whenever he had the thing because he wanted to get some some troops to come out for that January 6th, and they told him no. So honestly, I don't know. There's a lot of questions and there's a lot of wonder things, but as we go into the future world, we're still going to have to deal with our humanity and our spirituality. And we're going to have a lot of computer and technology shit sort of running side by side with it. So it's going to be difficult to tell what is real and what is not. And even some of the things that are phenomenal or supernatural, when they happen, it blows your mind. You don't expect something like that can happen. And this happens a lot with spirituality, like with magic and with spiritual gifts. But it's going to be even more of a thing to need to be able to discern, because how are you going to tell in the future when they're able to do holographic images in the sky with sounds, you know, and things like that? How are you going to know what's real and what's not real? And are you ready for that world? Because that's the world we're going into.